Do you know that tiny changes in your daily habits can completely transform your life? Just imagine, 1% better every day means you're 37 times better in a year. That's the secret power behind Atomic Habits. James Clear's Atomic Habits shows how small habits shape our identity and future. Success doesn't come from massive overnight changes. It comes from consistent, tiny improvements. By focusing on systems instead of goals, breaking bad habits, and building good ones step by step, anyone can create a lifestyle that supports success, health, and happiness.
We're the show that plunges into fascinating topics, pulls out the really key insights, and basically gets you up to speed fast.
Yep, equipped and informed.
And today, wow, we're tackling something that sounds simple, but it's genuinely, well, it can be life-altering. It's about how really tiny, almost invisible changes can lead to, frankly, remarkable results.
It is pretty mind-blowing. And, the author of our main source today, James Clear, he takes this idea of habit, something we think we get, right?
Right.
And he just flips it on its head with this concept of atomic habits. So you're saying earlier about the name atomic.
Yeah.
It's not just about being small, is it?
No, exactly. That's such a great point because it's got this cool double meaning. First, yeah, atomic, like an atom, tiny, irreducible, the smallest possible bit.
Yeah, okay.
But also atomic-like, atomic energy, a source of immense power. And then you pair that with habit, just a routine, something you do automatically. So yeah, it's all about the huge power hidden in those tiny actions.
It really is a powerful frame. So our mission today really is to dig into this, unpack it, show you the surprising power of making these tiny incremental changes, and give you that shortcut to really grasping how transformative it can be.
So let's talk about how significant these tiny changes actually are. The math alone is, well, it's kind of startling.
It is.
If you manage to get just 1% better each day for a year, you don't just improve a bit, you end up, get this, 37 times better.
37 times. It's exponential.
Exactly. And the flip side is just a start. If you get 1% worse each day, you slide basically down to zero. It really shows how these tiny wins or minor setbacks pile up into something massive over time.
It's exactly like compound interest, but for self-improvement. Like how money grows in an investment.
Yeah.
Well, the effects of your habits multiply in the same way, leading to outcomes way bigger than the initial small action. It's this quiet, relentless force working in the background.
And a brilliant, absolutely fantastic real-world example of this is the British cycling team.
Oh yeah, that story's amazing.
Right. So back around 2008, they bring in this new coach, Sir Dave Brailsford. And his philosophy was pretty revolutionary. It was called the aggregation of marginal gains.
For marginal gains, meaning?
I mean, he looked for just a tiny 1% improvement in absolutely everything they did, no matter how small or, insignificant it seemed.
And they took this to an almost, obsessive level, didn't they?
Totally. They redesigned the bike seats for more comfort, rubbed alcohol on the tires for better grip. They even had riders wear electrically heated overshorts.
Heated shorts. Why?
To keep the muscle temperature optimal. And they used biofeedback sensors, tested fabrics in wind tunnels, had outdoor riders use the lighter indoor racing suits. I mean, the level of detail was incredible.
It's the thoroughness that gets me.
But what really sets it apart, I think, is how they went into areas nobody else was looking at. These overlooked, unexpected places for that 1%.
Like what?
Like testing different massage gels to see which sped up muscle recovery the most. They hired a surgeon just to teach the team the best way to wash their hands to cut down on colds.
A surgeon for hand washing? Okay, that's commitment.
Right. And they figured out the optimal pillow and mattress for each rider's sleep. And get this, they painted the inside of the team truck white.
White. Why white?
So they could spot even the tiniest bits of dust that might get into the bike mechanics and degrade performance. It sounds extreme, maybe, but it shows this deep focus on removing tiny bits of friction.
Wow. And the results, the results speak for themselves, don't they?
Absolutely astounding. Just 5 years after Brailsford took over, at the 2008 Beijing Olympics, they dominated, won something like 60% of the gold medals available in cycling.
60%.
Then 4 years later, London Olympics. 9 Olympic records, 7 world records. Then Bradley Wiggins wins the Tour de France, first Brit ever.
Followed by Chris Froome, winning it multiple times.
Yeah. The team won 5 tours in 6 years. Overall, between 2007 and 2017, 178 world championships and 66 Olympic or Paralympic golds, all fueled by adding up those tiny 1% gains.
It's just incredible proof of that compounding effect. Which actually leads nicely into another key idea from the book, this plateau of latent potential.
Yes. Explain that one. It sounds important.
It really is. It explains why often these small changes seem to make no difference at all. Until suddenly you cross some kind of critical threshold.
And then, boom, a breakthrough.
Exactly. Think about an ice cube. It's sitting there at, say, 25 degrees, 28, 30, 31. Nothing looks different.
Still ice.
Right. But then it hits 32 degrees Fahrenheit and it starts melting. That 1 degree shift, which seemed just like the others before it, unlocks this massive change. All the energy put in before wasn't wasted. It was just stored potential.
That makes sense.
Or think about cancer. It can grow undetected for like 80% of its lifespan and then suddenly seem to take over quickly. Or bamboo, you barely see it for years while it builds this huge root system underground.
Right.
And then it explodes like 90 feet in the air in just 6 weeks.
So all that initial effort, it's building up underground, unseen. It must be so frustrating for people in that phase, what the author calls the valley of disappointment.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're putting in the work, but you don't see the results yet. And that's where so many people give up right before the breakthrough.
Because we expect linear progress, maybe?
We do.
Yeah.
But the most powerful outcomes of compounding are always delayed. Patience is crucial. The work isn't wasted, it's just being stored like energy in that ice cube.
And James Clear, the author himself, his own story is such a powerful illustration of this, isn't it?
It really is. It's quite harrowing, actually. On the last day of his sophomore year in high school, he got hit square in the face with a baseball bat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the impact was severe. Broken nose, multiple skull fractures, shattered eye sockets.
Yeah.
He ended up in a medically induced coma.
Wow. The recovery must have been immense.
Incredibly challenging. Yeah. He had double vision for weeks, lost his sense of smell temporarily. His left eye actually bulged out at one point. Yeah, air force through the fractures. He had seizures for 8 months. It took nearly a year before he'd even get back on a baseball field. It sounds like this one huge, dramatic event, but his comeback, that was all about slow, steady progress.
So even though he started way down the roster in college baseball, he focused on small things he could control.
Exactly. He decided to build these small, consistent habits. Things like prioritizing good sleep, keeping his room tidy, simple stuff.
But those gave him a sense of control.
That's what he says. These small wins built his confidence, gave him a sense of control back, and that actually spilled over into his studies. He got straight A's his first year. It wasn't one big moment, one grand gesture.
It was gradual.
Precisely. He describes it as a gradual evolution, a long series of small wins and tiny breakthroughs, not one defining moment. He started small, built consistently, and he did the same thing with his writing career.
Right, the blog, he just started writing consistently.
Yeah, back in 2012. He just committed. Published an article twice a week on jamesclear.com. That was it. No massive strategy, just that small, consistent action.
And look where that led. I mean, the growth was phenomenal, wasn't it?
Absolutely. That simple habit. He got his first 1,000 email subscribers pretty quickly. By the end of 2013, over 30,000. A year later, over 100,000.
Wow.
And by 2015, that consistency led to the book deal for Atomic Habits. His audience just kept compounding, leading to speaking gigs, recognition by major outlets, even sports teams using his work. It's the perfect example of that quiet, consistent effort paying off massively over time.
So, pulling these threads together, the British cyclists, the plateau, Clear's own story, that really forces a shift away from just focusing on the big outcomes, doesn't it?
It really does. And that's a crucial distinction the book makes. The difference between goals and systems.
Okay, break that down. Goals versus systems.
Right, so goals are the results you want. Win the championship, build that $1 million business, lose 20 pounds. That's the what?
The finish line.
Exactly. But systems, those are the processes that lead to those results. It's the how the coach recruits and runs practice, how the entrepreneur tests ideas and markets products, the daily routine you follow for weight loss. It's the engine, not just the destination.
And the book argues there are real problems with being too focused on just the goals.
Yeah, he outlines 4 main issues with a goals-first mentality. First one, winners and losers often have the exact same goals.
That's true. Every team wants to win the championship.
Precisely. Think back to British cycling. Their goal of winning the Tour de France hadn't changed for years. It was the system of marginal gains that finally got them there. Just having the goal isn't enough.
Okay, problem 1. What's number 2?
Achieving a goal is only a momentary change. Think about cleaning a messy room.
Okay, done it. Feels good for a bit.
Right, it's clean now. But if you don't change the underlying habits, the system that created the mess, it's just going to get cluttered again, right?
Yeah, pretty quickly usually.
So goals treat the symptom. Systems treat the cause. If you fix the inputs, the outputs tend to take care of themselves.
Makes sense. Third problem.
Gold can actually restrict your happiness. There's this implicit idea, once I achieve X, then I'll be happy.
The I'll be happy when trap.
Exactly. You're constantly postponing happiness. But a systems-first approach offers an antidote. You find satisfaction in the process itself. You can be happy anytime your system is running, not just at the finish line. The journey becomes rewarding.
I like that. And the fourth problem.
Goals can be at odds with long-term progress. Think about marathon runners. Many train like crazy, cross the finish line, get the medal, and then stop training completely. The goal is achieved, so the system stops.
The yo-yo effect.
Right. The purpose of a goal is to win the game. But the purpose of a system is to keep playing the game. So, for true long-term progress, the author suggests embracing goalless thinking, focusing on continuous refinement, not just hitting fixed points.
Okay, this is crystallizing. So the big takeaway here is,
It's profound and worth saying again. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems.
wow, let that sink in. You fall to the level of your systems.
So if you're finding it hard to change habits, it's probably not you, not your willpower. It's likely you just have the wrong system for change. An atomic habit is really a tiny part of a larger effective system. They're the building blocks.
Okay, so if systems are the key, not just goals, how do we actually build these powerful systems? Where does it start?
Well, the book argues it starts at the deepest level, your identity.
Identity. How so?
Think of change like layers of an onion. The outer layer is outcome, change the results.
Right.
Losing weight, publishing the book.
Got it.
The middle layer is process, change your habits and systems. The workout routine, the writing schedule.
Okay.
But the deepest layer, the core, is identity change. This is about changing your beliefs about yourself. Who do you wish to become? Who do you see yourself as?
So changing who you are, not just what you do.
Exactly. And that's the most effective way to change habits. Don't just focus on what you want to achieve. Focus on who you wish to become.
Give me an example.
Instead of, I want to lose 10 pounds, outcome, shift to, I am a healthy person, identity. When your behavior aligns with your identity, you're not forcing change anymore. You're just acting like the person you already believe you are.
Ah, I see. That feels much more integrated.
It is. And it explains why our own self-talk can be such a roadblock, right?
How do you mean?
Well, if you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm terrible with names, or I'm just not a morning person, or I'm bad at math,
Yeah.
you create this internal resistance.
Yeah.
Any action that contradicts that story feels wrong.
Yeah.
You subconsciously sabotage yourself to stay consistent with your self-image.
Because acting differently would challenge who you think you are.
Precisely. But here's the empowering flip side. Every action you take is like casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. Yeah. One workout might not instantly make you an athlete,
Right.
but each time you do it, you cast a vote for that identity. Each page you write is a vote for being a writer.
So the evidence builds up over time.
Exactly. The votes accumulate, strengthening the evidence for your new identity. It becomes easier and easier to see yourself that way.
So it's like a feedback loop. Habits shape identity, identity shapes habits.
It's a continuous two-way street. And the key is to let your desired identity, your values, your principles, drive that loop, not just chasing outcomes. That's where the real power lies.
Okay, identity is the foundation. Let's get into the nuts and bolts then. How do habits actually work mechanically?
Well, the basic idea goes way back, actually, to the late 1890s, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a psychologist named Edward Thorndike did these experiments with cats in puzzle boxes.
Cats in boxes. Sounds intriguing.
They had to figure out how to press a lever to escape and get food. And Thorndike noticed something fundamental. Behaviors followed by satisfying consequences tend to be repeated.
Simple but powerful. If it feels good, do it again.
Pretty much. And that's the core of what a habit is. A behavior repeated enough times that it becomes automatic. Your brain is essentially lazy. It wants to conserve energy.
Lazy in a smart way.
You could say that. When you face the same problem over and over, your brain figures out the solution and automates it. Creates a mental shortcut, a routine, so you don't have to think about it every time.
Like driving a familiar route.
Exactly. And maybe counterintuitively, good habits don't restrict freedom, they create it.
How so?
When the basics are on autopilot, your finances, your health routines, tidying up your mind is free. You have more mental energy for creativity, for tackling new challenges, for deeper thinking. Without good habits, you're constantly bogged down in the basics.
So habits free up bandwidth. Okay, how does this automation actually happen? You mentioned a loop.
Right. The author breaks it down into a simple 4-step loop. This is the backbone of every habit. Cue, craving, response, reward.
Okay, walk us through it. Step 1, cue.
The cue is the trigger. It tells your brain to initiate a behavior because a reward might be nearby. It could be your phone buzzing, the smell of coffee, feeling stressed, walking into a certain room. It could be internal or external, and often we're not even consciously aware of the cue.
Okay, trigger happens. Step 2, craving.
The craving is the motivation, the why. It's the desire or urge to act. But here's the key insight. You don't crave the habit itself, you crave the change in state it provides.
Change in state.
Yeah. You don't crave smoking a cigarette, you crave the feeling of stress relief it momentarily gives you. You don't crave scrolling Instagram, you crave the feeling of being entertained or connected or escaping boredom. Every craving is about wanting to change how you feel inside.
Got it. So cue triggers a craving for a change in state. Then step 3, response.
The response is the actual habit, the thought or action you perform, like picking up the phone, lighting the cigarette, eating the cookie. Whether you actually do it depends on motivation, how easy or hard it is, friction, and if you feel capable.
Makes sense. If it's too hard, you probably won't do it.
Exactly. And finally, step 4, the reward.
The payoff.
Yep. The reward is the end goal. It satisfies the craving, at least temporarily, and crucially, it teaches your brain. Hey, that sequence, cue, craving, response worked out well. Let's remember that for next time. Food gives energy, a notification gives connection, relaxation techniques reduce stress.
So the reward closes the loop and reinforces it for the future.
Precisely. Cue, craving, response, reward. That neurological feedback loop makes the behavior more and more automatic over time.
Yeah.
You're going to give a cue and craving is the problem phase. You notice something, you want something. And response and reward are the solution phase. You act, you get satisfaction. That's the habit loop in a nutshell.
Okay, that framework is super clear. Cue, craving, response, reward. Now, how do we use this? The book talks about 4 laws, right?
Exactly. The 4 laws of behavior change. These are practical rules based on that loop for building good habits. And importantly, each law has an inversion for breaking bad habits.
Let's dive in. Law number 1.
The first law is make it obvious. And its inversion is make it invisible. This taps into the cue part of the loop. Our brains are constantly scanning for cues, often subconsciously.
Subconsciously, like we don't even notice.
Often, yes. There's a story about a paramedic who just knew her father-in-law was about to have a heart attack, not from obvious symptoms, but from noticing subtle changes in blood flow in his face, a pattern she'd seen unconsciously learned over years with patients.
Wow.
Or think about common habits, like a retail clerk who got so used to cutting up expired gift cards, she accidentally cut a customer's actual credit card.
Oh no.
Or a former preschool teacher who kept asking her new office colleagues if they'd wash their hands after using the restroom. The cues become so ingrained they're invisible.
Okay, so to build good habits, we need to make the cues visible, obvious. How?
A great first step is the habit scorecard. Just take a day and list out your habits, wake up, check phone, brush teeth, make coffee, and just note next to each one. Is this positive plus negative or neutral for the person I want to be? No judgment, just awareness. Oh, interesting, I grab a donut every morning.
Just noticing the patterns.
Exactly. Then, to raise awareness in the moment, you can try something called pointing and calling. It's used on Japanese railways.
Pointing and calling.
Workers physically point at signals or speedometers and call out the status, like signal is green. It makes automatic actions conscious, reducing errors. You could do it yourself. I am walking to the fridge for a snack, but I'm not hungry. Just saying it out loud brings it into awareness.
Okay, that could work. What else for making it obvious?
Get specific with an implementation intention. Don't just say, I'll exercise more. Use the formula. I will behavior at time and location.
Give me an example.
I will do 20 push-ups at 8 a.m. in my living room. Or I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. on my bedside rug. It removes all the ambiguity about when and where. Super clear plan.
I like that structure. Very concrete.
Another powerful one is habit stacking. You link your desired new habit to one you already do consistently.
Piggybacking on an existing habit.
Exactly. It uses the momentum of the old habit as the cue for the new one. It's kind of like the Diderot effect. When you buy one new thing and suddenly you feel like you need other new things to match it.
Oh yeah, buy a new couch, suddenly need new lamps.
Right. One action triggers the next. So for habits, after I pour my morning coffee, existing habit, I will meditate for 60 seconds, new habit.
Okay.
Or after I take off my work shoes, existing habit, I will change into my workout clothes, new habit. The key is making the cue really specific, not just during my lunch break, but when I close my laptop for lunch, I will do 10 push-ups next to my desk. Very clear trigger.
Specificity is key. What about our environment?
Hugely important for making cues obvious. Environment design. There was a study in a hospital cafeteria.
Yeah.
A doctor named Anne Thorndike rearranged the drinks. She didn't lecture anyone. She just put more water bottles in the main fridges near the registers and fewer sodas.
And what happened?
Soda sales dropped over 11%. Bottled water sales went up nearly 26%. Just by making the desired choice more visible, more obvious.
That's powerful. No change in motivation needed?
None at all. Same thing at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. They put a tiny sticker of a fly inside the men's urinals.
A fly? Why?
Gave guys something to aim at. It significantly reduced spillage and cut cleaning costs by 8%. A tiny visual cue changed behavior.
Hilarious but effective. So for us, that means...
Put cues for good habits right in your line of sight. Want to play guitar more? Don't hide it in the closet. Put it on a stand in the living room. Want to remember meds? Put the bottle next to the faucet. Want to send more thank you notes? Keep them on your desk.
Make the cue unavoidable.
Pretty much. And try the one space, one use idea. Try to have one place dedicated to one activity. Your bed is for sleeping, your desk is for working, the kitchen table is for eating. It helps associate the context with the habit. And often, building a new habit is easier in a new environment where you don't have old cues competing.
Okay, that's law 1. Make it obvious. Or, invisible for bad habits. What's law 2?
Law 2 is make it attractive. And the inversion, make it unattractive. This focuses on the craving part of the loop. We're more likely to do things we find appealing or desirable.
And the world today is pretty good at making things attractive, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The author talks about supernormal stimuli. These are like exaggerated, hyper-engineered versions of reality that hijack our reward systems.
Like what?
Think junk food perfectly engineered with salt, sugar, fat to hit our bliss point. Or social media, endless novelty, likes, notifications, perfectly tuned to grab and hold attention. These things are often way more appealing than their natural counterparts, driving us towards excessive consumption.
Because they trigger that reward feeling so strongly.
Exactly. And it's driven by dopamine. But here's the fascinating thing about dopamine. It's released not just when you get the reward, but more powerfully when you anticipate it.
Anticipation drives the craving.
Hugely. Think about gamblers. The dopamine spike often happens before they place the bet, in anticipation of winning, not necessarily after they win or lose. The anticipation motivates the action.
So to build good habits, we need to make the anticipation more attractive.
Precisely. One way is called temptation bundling.
Temptation bundling. Sounds fun.
It is. You link an action you want to do with an action you need to do.
Okay, example.
There was this engineering student, Ronan Byrne. He actually hacked his stationary bike to connect to his TV and laptop. Netflix would only play if he was cycling above a certain speed.
Haha, brilliant. Exercise bundled with entertainment.
Exactly. Or think about ABC's old TGIT, thank God it's Thursday campaign. They bundled watching their shows with the whole experience of popcorn, red wine, relaxing. Made the whole package attractive.
So I could say, I only get to listen to my favorite true crime podcast while I'm doing the ironing.
Perfect. Or you can combine it with habit stacking. After a current habit, I will have it I need. And then after habit I need, I will have it I want. Like after my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. Then I get to check Instagram. The idea is you start looking forward to the need because it unlocks the want.
Clever. What else makes habits attractive?
The huge pull of social norms. We are fundamentally social creatures. We want to belong, to fit in, to earn respect.
We copy each other.
We do. We imitate habits from 3 main groups. 1, the clothes our family and friends. Studies show things like weight gain or even IQ scores can be influenced by close connections, like that MIT robotics class where Mike Massimino was one of 4 students who ended up becoming astronauts.
Wow, your immediate circle matters.
Hugely.
2.
The many our culture, our tribe, we want to do what helps us fit in. The Polgar sisters, the chess prodigies. They grew up in a household utterly obsessed with chess. Chess books, famous players everywhere. Chess wasn't just something they learned. It became attractive, enjoyable, because it was the cultural norm in their family, the way to belong and excel.
So the environment made it attractive.
Exactly. And 3, the powerful people with status or prestige. We tend to copy behaviors of successful people because those behaviors seem linked to earning respect and approval, which are attractive outcomes.
Okay, so surrounding ourselves with people who have the habits we want can make those habits more attractive to us.
Definitely. And finally, you can actively reframe how you think about a habit to make it more or less attractive.
Reframe, like a mindset shift.
Yeah. Alan Carr's famous Easy Way to Stop Smoking book. It works largely by systematically reframing smoking. It points out all the negatives and shows that the supposed benefits aren't real, making the whole act seem unattractive and pointless.
Undermining the craving.
Exactly. Or try shifting from a surface craving, I want ice cream, to the deeper motive, I need comfort or energy. Then maybe find a healthier way to meet that need. Or reframing things you have to do as things you get to do. I get to go for a run. Sounds way better than I have to go for a run.
That simple word change makes a difference.
It really can. Or for stressful things like public speaking, reframe I'm nervous to I'm excited. That adrenaline is actually useful. It changes your perception and makes the feeling work for you, not against you.
Okay, law 2. Make it attractive. Law 3.
Law 3 is make it easy. Inversion, make it difficult. This links to the response part of the habit loop. Our brains are wired for energy conservation. We naturally gravitate towards the easiest option, the law of least effort.
We're inherently lazy.
Let's say energy efficient. Think about why agriculture spread faster east-west across Eurasia than north-south in the Americas.
Climate.
Exactly. Similar latitudes have similar climates, day lengths, seasons. It was easier to farm the same crops along east-west lines, less friction.
So for good habits, we need to reduce the friction, make them the easy path.
You got it. Design your environment again. Choose a gym that's literally on your way to work, not miles out of the way. Reduce the steps needed.
Like those Japanese manufacturers back in the day, addition by subtraction.
Perfect example. They obsessed over removing wasted steps, wasted motion friction from their production lines, made things hyper-efficient. We see it today too. Meal kits, ride-sharing apps, texting. They all succeed by making tasks easier.
So how can we apply that friction reduction personally?
One way is to prime the environment. Prepare for your future action now.
Like laying out workout clothes the night before.
Exactly. Or chopping vegetables on Sunday for meals all week, pre-sorting mail, having your water bottle already filled. You're making the starting line easier to cross when the time comes.
And for bad habits, you do the opposite, increase the friction.
Make them harder to do. Unplug the TV and put the remote in another room after watching. Delete social media apps from your phone, forcing you to log in via a browser. More steps. Leave your phone in a different room when you need to focus. Add steps, add difficulty.
Makes the path of least effort lead away from the bad habit.
Precisely. Another powerful tool here is the commitment device, sometimes called a Ulysses Pact.
Ulysses Pact, like from the Odyssey.
Exactly. Ulysses had his sailors tie him to the mast so he could hear the siren song, but couldn't steer the ship towards the rocks. It's a choice you make now to lock in good behavior or restrict bad behavior later.
So you're outsmarting your future self.
Pretty much. Victor Hugo, the writer. To meet a deadline, he famously had his assistant lock away all his clothes except for a big shawl. He literally couldn't go outside, forcing him to stay in and write.
That's extreme. More practical examples.
Buying snacks in small, single-serving packages instead of a giant bag. Asking casinos to put you on a self-exclusion list if you have a gambling issue. Prepaying for a block of personal training sessions so you feel obligated to go. Asking the waiter to box up half your meal before it even arrives at the table.
You're making the bad choice harder or the good choice easier in advance.
Exactly. And even better than reducing friction is automating good habits. One-time decisions that pay off again and again.
Like setting up automatic bill payments.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Or buying a good water filter so healthy drinks are always easy. Using smaller plates to automatically control portion sizes. Getting blackout curtains for better sleep. Setting up automatic transfers to your savings account. Unsubscribing from tempting email lists. Deleting distracting apps. These take a little effort up front, but then work for you passively.
That seems really powerful. Low ongoing effort.
It is. And probably the most practical advice in this section is the 2-minute rule.
The 2-minute rule.
When you start a new habit, make sure the very first step takes less than 2 minutes to do.
Less than 2 minutes. That sounds too easy.
That's the point. Read every night becomes read 1 page. Do yoga for 30 minutes becomes take out my yoga mat. Run 3 miles becomes put on my running shoes.
Ah, so you're just making it incredibly easy to start.
Exactly. The goal isn't mastery on day 1. The goal is mastering the habit of showing up, Establish the root first, then worry about growing the branches. Anyone can read one page or put on their shoes. It removes the barrier to entry.
And once you've mastered showing up, you build from there.
Yes, that's habit shaping. Start with the 2-minute version. Once that feels automatic, scale it up slightly. Maybe read for 5 minutes, or do a few stretches on the mat, then 10 minutes. You gradually build towards the ultimate goal, but always focus on mastering the first 2 minutes of the current phase. Makes progress feel achievable, not daunting.
Okay, that's make it easy. Leads us to the final law, Law 4.
The 4th law is make it satisfying, and it's inversion, make it unsatisfying. This ties into the reward part of the loop. It's the cardinal rule of behavior change. What is rewarded is repeated. What is punished is avoided. We need to feel successful, feel satisfied, for a habit to stick.
But isn't the problem that good habits often have delayed rewards?
Exactly, that's the core challenge. Our brains evolved in immediate return environments. Hunt berry, eat berry, see lion, run now. Consequences were immediate.
But now we live in a delayed return environment.
Right. Exercise is hard now. Health benefits come later. Saving money, it's restrictive now. Financial security comes later. Bad habits are the opposite. Smoking feels good now. Cancer comes later. Junk food tastes good now. Weight gain comes later.
So our brains are wired for instant gratification, which works against long-term good habits.
Pretty much. The author even says the more immediate pleasure you get from an action, the more strongly you should question whether it aligns with your long-term goals. It's a useful check.
So how do we fight that? How do we make good habits satisfying now?
We need to find ways to attach some form of immediate gratification to them. Remember that hand-washing study in Pakistan?
With the Safeguard soap.
Yeah. People knew they should wash hands, but didn't consistently. Giving them soap that smelled nice and lathered well made the act itself immediately more pleasant, more satisfying. That immediate sensory reward drove long-term adoption and cut disease rates dramatically.
Like why toothpaste has minty flavors, makes the clean feeling immediate.
Exactly. Or chewing gum. The flavor is an immediate reward. Another way is visual reinforcement. Seeing progress is incredibly satisfying.
Like checking off a to-do list.
Yeah, or the paperclip strategy used by that stockbroker, Trent Jordan.
Remind me.
Started each day with 120 paperclips in one jar. Moved one clip to an empty jar after each sales call he made. He didn't focus on the results of the calls, just the action. Seeing that second jar fill up was immediate visual proof of his effort. Made him super successful.
So tracking your progress visually makes the habit itself rewarding in the moment.
Yes. Workout logs, food journals, marking off days on a calendar. These visual measurements provide immediate evidence you're moving forward. That feeling is motivating.
Which brings us to habit trackers.
The most common form. Benjamin Franklin tracked his 13 virtues. Jerry Seinfeld famously used a calendar to track his daily joke writing streak.
The don't break the chain method.
That's the one. Tracking works because 1, it creates a visual cue reminding you to act. 2, it's inherently motivating to see your streak grow. And 3, it feels really satisfying to record your success each day.
But what if you do break the chain? What if you miss a day?
Crucial rule here. Never miss twice.
Never miss twice.
Perfection is impossible. You will slip up. Missing 1 day is an accident. Missing 2 days in a row. That's the start of a new unwanted habit. The key isn't to be perfect, but to get back on track immediately. Successful people aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who rebound quickly. Don't let one slip become a slide.
Okay, that takes some pressure off. How about avoiding a bad habit satisfying? Doing nothing isn't usually rewarding.
Right, so you need to make the benefit visible. If you're trying to cut back on buying expensive coffees, for example, every time you skip one, immediately transfer the money you saved, $5 or whatever, into a separate savings account labeled Trip to Europe or New Leather Jacket.
So you see the reward accumulating immediately.
Exactly. It makes the absence of the bad habit feel like a win.
And the flip side, making bad habits unsatisfying.
At an immediate cost, make the consequence painful right away, not just a distant threat. A great tool for this is a habit contract.
A contract with yourself or someone else.
Often with someone else, an accountability partner. It's a verbal or written agreement where you state your commitment to a habit and the specific punishment if you fail.
Punishment? Like what?
Brian Harris, an entrepreneur, made one for weight loss. If he failed to log his food, he had to pay his trainer $200. If he skipped workouts, he had to wear his rival university's sweatshirt to work.
Ouch. Social pain and financial pain.
Exactly. Knowing someone else is watching, someone you respect, is a powerful motivator. Comedian Margaret Cho had a friend she had to send a new joke to every single day. That accountability worked.
You can even automate this accountability, right?
Yeah. Thomas Frank set up an automated tweet that would go out publicly, calling himself lazy and offering people $5 via PayPal if he didn't wake up by 5:55 a.m. We care so much about what others think. Making the cost of failure public and painful can be incredibly effective.
Okay, those 4 laws make it obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying, provide a really solid framework. What about taking things to the next level? Mastery.
Right, some advanced tactics. First, understanding the truth about talent. Genes don't lock in your destiny, but they do nudge you in certain directions. They clarify your areas of opportunity.
So, play to your strengths?
Essentially, yes. You want to play a game where the odds are tilted in your favor. Think about Michael Phelps, the swimmer.
Long torso, short legs, huge wingspan, built for swimming.
Exactly. Compare him to Hicham El Garouge, the champion middle distance runner. Incredibly long legs, short torso, built for running. Both elite athletes, but put Phelps in a marathon or El Garouge in a pool.
Disaster.
Right. They excelled because they competed in fields that matched their natural physical gifts. So the idea is to find areas where your natural inclinations align with your abilities. Doesn't mean you don't have to work hard, but it clarifies what to work hard on.
And if you can't find the perfect game?
Create one. Combine your unique skills. Like Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert. He wasn't the world's best artist or funniest comedian or most experienced businessman, but he combined his pretty good skills in all 3 to create something unique and hugely successful.
Find your unique intersection.
Yeah, exactly. Another key for mastery is the Goldilocks rule.
Not too hard, not too easy, just right.
You got it. To stay motivated, you need to work on tasks that are right on the edge of your current abilities. Challenging enough to keep you engaged, but not so hard you get discouraged. That's the sweet spot where you often enter a flow state.
Where you're totally absorbed.
Right, time flies, progress feels effortless. Peak motivation happens at that edge of challenge.
Okay, find your niche. Work at the edge of your ability. What about the potential downside of habits? Can they hold you back?
They can, subtly.
Yeah.
Habits automate things, which is great for efficiency, but it can lead to mindless repetition. You get good enough, and you stop paying attention, stop looking for small errors, stop trying to improve, you plateau.
So how do you avoid that complacency?
The cure is deliberate reflection and review.
Taking time to consciously evaluate.
Yes. Look at Pat Riley, the legendary Lakers coach. He implemented a program called Career Best Effort, or CBE.
CBE.
They tracked player stats way back, sometimes even to high school, to establish a baseline. Then they asked each player to improve their effort by just 1% over the course of a season. Not just points, but rebounds, assists, diving for loose balls, the unsung hero stuff. This constant measurement and review kept everyone focused on continuous improvement, even the superstars.
So we should do personal performance reviews.
Basically, yes. The author suggests things like an annual review. Look back at your habits over the year. Tally your streaks. Reflect on what worked, what didn't, what you learned. Or an integrity report. Revisit your core values and ask honestly, am I living in alignment with these? These intentional check-ins prevent you from just going through the motions and keep you focused on that 1% better.
Okay, so pulling it all together, this whole journey through Atomic Habits, what's the final takeaway?
I think the biggest shift is seeing success not as a goal to be reached, a finish line to cross, but as an ongoing system to be improved, an endless process of refinement.
It's about the system, not just the outcome.
Exactly. And if you find habits hard, the problem isn't usually you or your willpower, it's your system. But now with these 4 laws, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. You have the tools. You have a framework to build better systems, to keep tweaking, to keep getting that 1% better.
Because those small habits, they don't just add up.
They compound. That's the magic. Tiny changes snowball into remarkable results over time.
It really is remarkable what you can build, who you can become if you just keep going. Don't stop. So maybe the question for everyone listening is, what's one seemingly tiny change, one atomic habit that you could start or refine today using these laws to begin compounding towards the future self you want to be?
So remember, your habits decide your future. Start small, stay consistent, and let compounding do the magic. If this summary of Atomic Habits inspired you, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more powerful book summaries that can transform your life.